Welcome to a special edition Esports Jam session. I'm Joshua Schall, president of Schall Consulting on behalf of Natural Products Insider. And my guest is Dan Lourenco, co-founder and CEO of Ghost. Thanks for joining me, bud.
Yeah, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good. So if you've attended the last handful of Supply Side West sports nutrition educational sessions, we might be a familiar duo that's seen on stage together. We've done the annual kind of like State of the Union on the industry, but today we're going to be sticking to esports, kind of the broader gaming ecosystem and how Ghost is honestly supplanting itself as a major player in what has become a cultural phenomenon. So Dan, I want to ask you kind of first around if esports and gaming was kind of always in the original strategy from the inception of Ghost.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think Ghost at its best, really we create products and content around things that we know and use and love and inspire us every day. I've been a lifelong gamer. I'm a co-founder as well, although not really a great one. So yes, like from the very early stages of Ghost, gaming has played an important role. Even very early on when we were chronicling kind of the very early days of Ghost on YouTube in a glass box at WeWork, you'd see us kind of decompress in between those, like, look, the kind of kill or be killed early days of any company, playing some Xbox, at WeWork. So it's always been kind of part of the culture and part of the DNA. I think in looking at industry trends and where things have gone, first within the esports and gaming community, as the level of play has increased, as the opportunities to create content and compete have increased, of course, people are looking and gamers are looking for an edge. With that and just kind of the broadening of sports nutrition, which humbly, I think, Ghost as a lifestyle brand has always tried to play a role in, those two worlds have merged, right? And of course, as those two worlds have merged, gamers looking to kind of enhance their gameplay, enhance their lifestyle. Ghost as a sports nutrition brand at its core, kind of going, broader as well. It's really a perfect fit. Why don't we launch with gamer, day one? I think, Josh, as you always say, it's important for companies to double down on their core competencies and their core strengths first and expand second. So being a sports nutrition and active nutrition brand, obviously rooted, in the gym, and really always wanting to show people, hey, leading a fit and active lifestyle, what you can do, like how to transcend, how to go beyond it. That's a platform for launching really the rest of your life. We wanted to get to gaming as soon as we could in 2020, when we launched Ghost Gamer is really the best opportunity, I think, to do that.
Yeah, what I really liked what you said there was that you were authentic to the community already. Like if people were to look back on your guys' Behind the Brand series on YouTube, they can easily see that you guys have been gaming in the office together for the longest time. And I think that there's an important step before you launch anything or commercialize anything in the gaming space. You have to be an authentic community member. You have to be adding value to the community before you start to commercialize, because it took you, almost 4 years before you launched Ghost Gamer. And I know we had talked about this before, but obviously launching that product in May of 2020 and having the kind of COVID-19 effect boost, kind of happened. And I know you've mentioned a few times saying like sometimes it's great to be, sometimes lucky.
Better to be lucky. Yeah, better to be lucky than good, because we didn't script that. Product development takes much more than at that point, May 2020, takes a lot longer than, 2 months. So Ghost Gamer is definitely something that was in the works well beyond that. But then I think like kind of just the, macro factors of the world and, a time where all of us are playing more video games, frankly, than maybe ever before in our lives, during kind of the quarantine kind of period of the pandemic. It was really, I think, an interesting opportunity for not just the product to do well, but also for the community that we built around Ghost Gamer specifically, on our Discord and on our Twitch, for that to really kind of take off in a way that, maybe it wouldn't have had everything been going full speed in the world.
So how have some of the kind of licensed flavors that Ghost has, and I know Ghost, the whole supplement line is a lot more than just the ones that are now currently on Ghost Gamer, but some of the likes of like Sour Patch Kids or your favorite Swedish Fish, or even some of the Sonic flavors, How have those resonated with the gaming community?
Yeah, look, I said it a lot. Authenticity is undefeated, and I think that that's even more important when looking at the gaming category as a whole. As you alluded to before, we've had a long history of gaming on our YouTube channel since the very early days of Ghost, which kind of like I think seeded the fact like, hey, this is something that we're interested in and going to move to. And I think that that led to product development of the actual product itself, and looking at how to go to market with the flavors. I think that a lot of the brands and things that that we're collaborating with. I mean, sometimes the gamers are a little bit more maybe familiar with those than the category, at large. So it made total sense to say, hey, like we've had long partnerships with Warheads and Sour Patch Kids and Sonic and Bubblicious, and most recently with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, to bring some of those flavors into this category and iterate them, in this way. And again, when you look around what's the product offerings that existed prior to Ghost, you saw a lot of the same kind of wannabe or kind of flavors profiles that mimicked the popular candies with a Raging Gummy Fish or a Sour Batch or what have you. To kind of do this in an authentic way, I think has been a home run for that community.
And I want to shift and talk about a newly announced strategic partnership that you had with FaZe Clan. And at least for me, it seems like it's a perfect match because you have, Ghost as a brand that's trying to transcend and already is transcending the sports nutrition space. And then you have FaZe Clan that to me is transcending the gaming space. But what kind of went into the decision to partner with FaZe Clan?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I think it is a perfect match, and honestly, the whole partnership came around in a very unplanned, serendipitous way. We've been familiar and had the opportunity to meet some of the FaZe, team members and family members over the years. And I think that we, have gotten to know some of them, and we're excited to maybe talk to them about specifically partnering on a personal level if the opportunities ever aligned. In doing so, we got to meet some of the FaZe leadership and had a kind of just got together, right, for a jam session, lunch, what have you. And it was eye-opening how the FaZe group spoke about, their category and their goals and what they're trying to do as a lifestyle brand, how it just mirrored, almost word for word the way that, my co-founder Ryan and I speak about Ghost and kind of where we want to take things. I think everyone has a stereotypical image in their head of what a gamer is and who a gamer is and what their lifestyle is like. And I think that FaZe, has really shown the world that, gamers do more than just play video games for, 24 hours a day, right? They are, athletes, they're musicians, they're content creators in their own right. And because of that, when looking for a partner in the active nutrition space, like what could be better than a brand like Ghost that doesn't just focus on gaming, but we do have products that again can fit across somebody's, really, entire day and support their entire lifestyle, whether that's protein or multivitamin or greens or even pre-workout. I think any of us would agree that there's an obvious tie between, performance in gaming or mental performance and physical fitness, right? Mental fitness and physical fitness, obviously connected. So I think that, again, to go back to what we talked about a little bit earlier, as the level of play and competition and opportunity to create content increases in gaming and people looking for an edge, this was just a match made, I think, in heaven.
Where do you see that kind of the biggest value being generated with the partnership? Is it those kind of intersections of where you guys are both trying or seeking attention towards? You look at gaming or fashion or music or fitness or entertainment. I mean, I think both brands play in those spaces and are culturally relevant in different degrees at different moments. It's like multifaceted, like you said. I mean, just because you are somebody that lifts doesn't mean that you live this prototypical lifestyle. Just like you're a gamer, you don't live this prototypical lifestyle. There's many facets to each person. It's a matter of how do you fit into that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Ghost tried to show the world that supplement users extend far beyond just their average gym bro, if you'll, if you will. And I think that they've done the same for gaming. So I think as far as where the greatest value here, it's not only to double down on just that, right? It's obviously going to be to collaborate on, some product and like, collaborating on some like a gamer, that's low hanging fruit. I think it's really where we can take this. And as FaZe continues to expand, who's part of the family? I mean, look, Snoop Dogg rocked a FaZe chain during the Super Bowl halftime show. So does that mean all of a sudden, Snoop Dogg and Ghost are vis-a-vis connected via FaZe? What could that, right? I think the biggest value in this is where we can take this. And I think that I don't exactly know where that is today. I think that both brands, FaZe and Ghost, we are really focused on attacking kind of, what our fans and consumers are expecting from us today, while, with urgency looking around the corner of where we think the world is going and where our fans and communities are going to expect from us in the future. And I think that that's really cool, that there's some obvious things that we can do, but there's also some unknowns ahead of where we want to take this thing. But it's amazing to have a partner like them and figuring that out and kind of building what that future looks like together.
The last kind of question for you is around, like, how do you think this strategic partnership changes the sports nutrition industry? And I'm always big and talk about, like, changing the game. That's always like this funny term that gets thrown around. But I do think, like, a strategic partnership like this, if executed correctly throughout the extension of however long that multi-year approach is, and it does have a interesting potential effect on the space.
Absolutely. Look, FaZe is with their previous partner for 10 years. And that's amazing, right? And I think in doing so, they created this category of kind of, supplements for gamers, if you will. But it was very singularly focused on a very like specific usage occasion of pre-gaming. That's all this is. So I think that, we're excited to obviously from day one say, hey, this is much bigger and much broader, than that. I think as far as, a game changer, that's not really a term you'll ever hear me use. I don't think you've ever heard me say anything that we do is even the best. But I think as far as maybe being evolutionary for the space, you're now marrying the biggest esports organization with a brand that does more than just that singular usage occasion. So I think that it's a very important line drawn in the sand, maybe more on the gaming side than even the sports nutrition side of, hey, gamers are interested in more than just energy drinks or a pre-gaming type product. It's bigger than that. It's broader than that. We care about more than that. I think on the sports nutrition side, you've already started to see that, this is very much a follow industry. You've seen it with the authentic flavor collabs that Ghost pioneered in 2016. Now, everybody's got a collab, it feels like. So I would expect in the world of sports nutrition, you're going to see a lot of brands, launching gaming products and trying to get into that community and get into that world. And as we said earlier, authenticity is undefeated. I think those that do it in a passionate, legitimate, authentic way, versus a dollar grab are the ones that are going to be successful. And I think that the gaming community, I've got full faith the gaming community is going to be able to weed those out.
Well, I think we packed this short session with like tons of value, and I personally enjoyed chopping it up with you, Dan. So thanks for joining me.
Yeah, look, thanks for having me. Talking about gaming and esports is always the easiest and most fun part of my day. So if anything, the big gaming news this week is that there's potential for GoldenEye to get remastered. So that was a big party at the Ghost office for that one. And I'm sure some relationships and working relationships and friendships are going to be hurt if that happens. But Ghost and Ghost Gamer are always, excited to kind of play a role and stay ahead of that one too.